She had just lost everything. Her job, her reputation, her future. All because someone else's mistake was blamed on her. That morning, Maris walked out of the hospital with nothing but $20 in her pocket and a visa that would expire in 30 days. Then she saw it. A wallet on the ground. Thick with cash. Black cards. The name of one of the richest men in Seoul. She could disappear with that money. Start over. No one would ever know. But instead, she walked into the tallest building in the city to return it. She had no idea that the man who dropped that wallet was Lee Yoo-jun, Korea's most dangerous mafia boss. And she definitely didn't know that returning his wallet would make her a target. Because his enemies don't care about honesty. They only care about destroying anything he values. And now he values her. Before I show you what happened when his rival gang came for her, I need you to do something important. Hit that subscribe button right now. This is African Korean romance, where the most dangerous men fall for the bravest women, and love breaks every rule. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, and what the weather's like right now. Are you somewhere warm? Cold? Rainy? Let me know, because this story is about to heat up no matter where you are. Now let me take you back to the moment my life changed forever. My name is Maris, and 3 months ago I thought I knew what rock bottom felt like. I was wrong. Rock bottom has levels, and that Tuesday morning I discovered a new one. I walked out of Gangnam Medical Center with my badge in my hand and tears I refused to let fall. I am 26 years old, Tanzanian, alone in Seoul, and now jobless. The medication error wasn't mine. I knew it. God knew it. But the senior nurse who actually made the mistake had been there 5 years. I had been there 5 months. When the patient's family threatened to sue, the hospital needed someone to blame. Guess who that was? The foreign girl with the accent and the dark skin who nobody really trusted anyway. I tried to explain. Showed them my charts. My documentation. Everything was correct on my end. But the head nurse looked at me with cold eyes and said the words that would haunt me. We have to let you go. It's for the best. The best for who? I wanted to scream. But I just nodded. Took my things. Left. Outside, Seoul moved like it always did. Fast. Indifferent. Beautiful and cruel at the same time. I had $20 in my pocket. Rent was due in 4 days. My visa depended on employment. Without a job, I had 30 days before I became illegal. 30 days to find another position in a city that had just marked me as incompetent. I walked without knowing where I was going. My mind was too loud. My chest felt too tight. I kept replaying the moment. The accusation. The disbelief in their eyes when I defended myself. The way the other nurse looked away. Guilty but silent. Nobody stood up for me. Nobody. That's when I saw the car. A sleek black sedan stopped at a red light ahead. Expensive. The kind of car that costs more than I would make in 5 years. The back door opened slightly and a man stepped out, phone pressed to his ear. Even from a distance, I could tell he was important. The way he stood, the sharpness of his suit, the impatience in his gestures. He was arguing with someone. His voice was low but intense. He slammed the car door and walked toward the building behind him without looking back. The car pulled away, and something small fell onto the sidewalk where he had been standing. I stopped walking. I stared at it. A wallet. Brown leather. Thick. My feet moved before my mind caught up. I bent down and picked it up. It was heavy. Expensive leather. The kind that smelled like money. I looked around. The man had already disappeared into the building. The car was gone. The street was busy, but nobody was paying attention to me. I could walk away right now. Nobody would know. My hands shook as I opened it. Cash. So much cash. Neatly folded bills filled one side. On the other side were black credit cards with gold lettering. And an ID card. Lee Yoo-jun, CEO. The name meant nothing to me then. But the money. God, the money. I could pay rent. Buy a plane ticket home. Survive until I figured things out. I stood there on that sidewalk holding someone else's entire life in my hands. And for the first time since my parents died, I felt truly tempted to be dishonest. My mother's voice whispered in my head, "Even when we have nothing, we are not thieves." I closed my eyes, took a breath, and made a choice that would change everything. I turned toward the tall glass building the man had entered. The sign above the entrance read Lee Enterprises. My legs felt weak as I walked through the massive doors. Inside, everything was polished. Marble floors, high ceilings, people in expensive suits moving with purpose. I felt small in my nurse's scrubs and worn sneakers. A security guard noticed me immediately. His eyes scanned me from head to toe. He stepped forward. "Can I help you?" His tone said I didn't belong. "I need to return something," I said quietly. I held up the wallet just enough for him to see. His expression changed instantly. "Where did you get that?" "I found it outside." It fell from someone's pocket. He didn't believe me. I could see it in his eyes. He grabbed my wrist. Not rough, but firm. "Wait here." My heart started pounding. I wasn't stealing. I was returning it. But already I could feel it. The assumption. The judgment. Within seconds, another guard appeared. They spoke in rapid Korean. I caught a few words. Thief. Police. My chest tightened. Not again. Please, not again. What Maris didn't know was that Lee Yoo-jun had been testing her. And she had just passed. One of the guards pulled out his phone. Before he could dial, a voice cut through the lobby. "What's going on?" I turned. It was him. The man from the street. Up close, he was even more intimidating. Tall. Sharp features. Dark eyes that seemed to see everything. His presence made the air feel heavier. The guards immediately straightened. "Sir, this woman was found with your wallet. We believe she stole it." "I found it," I said quickly. My voice shook, but I forced myself to look at him. "You dropped it outside." "I was bringing it back." Lee Yoo-jun stared at me for a long moment. Then he held out his hand. "Give it to me." I stepped forward and placed the wallet in his palm. He opened it slowly, checked the cash, flipped through the cards, pulled out a small folded paper from inside. His jaw tightened slightly. Then he looked at me again. "How much did you take?" "Nothing," I answered immediately. His eyes narrowed. "There was money in here. A lot of money." "You didn't take any?" "No." "Why not?" "Because it's not mine." Silence. The guards looked confused. Lee Yoo-jun studied my face like he was reading a book. Finally, he spoke. "Leave us." The guards hesitated, then stepped back. Now it was just him and me in the center of that massive lobby. "You're telling me you found this wallet full of cash and you brought it back without taking anything?" "Yes." He stepped closer. I could smell his cologne. Expensive. Subtle. "You look like you need money." "I do. But not like that." Something flickered in his eyes. "Respect maybe. Or curiosity." "What's your name?" "Maris. Maris Anderson." He repeated it slowly like he was memorizing it. "You're not from here." "Tanzania." "What are you doing in Seoul?" "I was working." "Was?" I swallowed. "I lost my job this morning. For something I didn't do." His expression didn't change, but I saw something shift. "Why are you telling me this?" "I don't know," I admitted. "Maybe because you're the first person today who actually listened." He was quiet for a moment. Then he reached into the wallet, pulled out a stack of bills, and held it toward me. "Take it." I stared at the money. My stomach twisted. "I don't want money." "Then what do you want?" "A job," I said quietly. "Any job. I can work. I'm a nurse, but I'll do anything. Clean. File papers. Answer phones. I just need a chance." He looked at me differently then. "Most people I meet want money," he said. "You want dignity. Is that strange?" "No," he replied. "It's rare." He pulled out his phone and made a call. Spoke briefly in Korean. When he hung up, he looked at me again. "Be here tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. You'll work in the medical wing. We have a company clinic. You're a nurse." That's where you'll start. My eyes widened. Are you serious? Yes. But understand something. This is not charity. You work hard or you're out. One mistake and you're gone. I nodded quickly. Thank you. I won't let you down. We'll see. He turned to leave, then stopped. Maris. I looked back. Don't tell anyone how you got this job. She thought getting the job was her breakthrough. She had no idea it was the beginning of a war. That night, I barely slept. I kept replaying everything. The wallet. His eyes. The way he had looked at me like I was a puzzle he wanted to solve. I washed my clothes carefully. Ironed them. Made sure I looked as professional as possible. When I arrived the next morning at 7:45, my heart was racing. The same security guards from yesterday were there. They looked at me differently now. One of them nodded. You're expected. 3rd floor. Medical wing. The medical wing was smaller than I expected. Clean. Well-equipped. A middle-aged woman with sharp eyes and a tight bun greeted me. I'm Dr. Han, she said in perfect English. You're the new nurse? Yes, ma'am. Let me be clear. I don't know how you got this position, and I don't care. You follow my instructions. You don't speak unless spoken to. You don't ask questions. Understood? Yes, ma'am. Good. Your first task is inventory. Check every supply. Make a list. Report to me by lunch. The work was simple but tedious. I moved through the clinic carefully, counting bandages, checking expiration dates, organizing medications. Other staff members came and went. Some looked at me curiously. Others ignored me. I kept my head down and focused. By noon, I had completed the inventory. Dr. Han reviewed my list without expression. Acceptable. You can take lunch. 30 minutes. I didn't have money for the cafeteria, so I sat in a small break room with the sandwich I had made that morning. I was halfway through when 2 female staff members walked in. They stopped when they saw me. Oh, you're the new one. I nodded. Hi. They didn't smile. I'm Maris. We know, one of them said. Everyone knows. The girl who somehow got hired without an interview. Without credentials. Without anything. I have credentials, I said quietly. I'm a registered nurse. The other woman laughed. Sure. Look, whatever you did to get this job, just stay out of our way. And don't think you're special. The tone stung, but I didn't respond. They left. I finished my sandwich alone. The afternoon was quiet. I treated 2 employees. One had a headache. Another had cut their hand in the kitchen. Simple cases. I handled them carefully, professionally. Dr. Han watched me work. When the day ended, she called me into her office. You did acceptable work today, she said. Tomorrow will be harder. I'm ready. We'll see. You can go. As I walked toward the elevator, I felt it again. That prickling sensation. Someone watching. I turned. At the end of the hallway, standing by a window, was Lee Yoo-jun. He was on his phone, but his eyes were on me. When our eyes met, he didn't look away. Neither did I. Something passed between us. Recognition, maybe. Or something heavier. Then the elevator doors opened and I stepped inside. That night, everything changed. I returned to my small apartment tired but hopeful. I had survived day 1. I put my key in the lock and pushed the door open. The smell hit me first. Wrong. Everything was wrong. I flipped on the light. My stomach dropped. The apartment had been ransacked. Drawers pulled open. Clothes thrown everywhere. My mattress slashed. And on the wall, written in red paint, were 2 words. Leave now. Someone was watching her. Someone who wanted her gone. And they were just getting started. My hands shook as I called the police. They came. Took photos. Asked questions. Did you have any enemies? Anyone who would want to hurt you? I don't know anyone here, I whispered. The officer looked skeptical. This looks personal. Maybe you upset someone. They left after an hour. Gave me a report number. Said they would investigate. I knew they wouldn't. I couldn't stay there. I packed what little I had left into a bag and walked out. I had nowhere to go. It was almost midnight. The streets were quieter now. Colder. I was trying to decide what to do when a black car pulled up beside me. The window rolled down. Get in. It was him. Lee Yu-jun. I stared. How did you know where I was? Get in, Maris. Now. Something in his voice made me obey. I slid into the back seat. The car started moving immediately. Your apartment was destroyed, he said. It wasn't a question. How do you know? I know everything that happens to people under my protection. I'm not under your protection. Yes, he said firmly. You are. The moment you returned that wallet, you became my responsibility. I don't understand. You don't need to. He handed me a key. This is to a secure apartment. You'll stay there until we figure out who did this. I can't accept that. You don't have a choice. Why are you doing this? I asked quietly. He looked at me then. Really looked at me. Because people who choose honesty are rare, he said. And I protect rare things. The apartment is small but clean. Safe. He walked me to the door. Lock it. Don't open for anyone but me. How will I know it's you? I'll call first. He turned to leave. Mr. Lee. He stopped. Thank you. He nodded once. Then he was gone. The next morning, I went to work like nothing had happened. But everything had changed. I felt it. The weight of being watched. Being targeted. During my lunch break, I was restocking supplies in the clinic when I heard voices outside the door. It's her. The girl Lee brought in. Why is she here? I heard she seduced him. That's disgusting. I stayed quiet. Kept working. But my hands shook. That afternoon, something worse happened. Dr. Han called me into her office. Her face was furious. Close the door. I did. She pointed to her desk. Medical supplies are missing. Expensive supplies. And your fingerprints are all over the storage room. I do inventory every day, I said carefully. Of course my fingerprints are there. Don't play games with me, she snapped. 20,000 won worth of medication is gone. I didn't take anything. Then how do you explain this? She opened her drawer and pulled out a small box. Inside were syringes. Controlled medication. And attached to the box was a sticky note with my handwriting. My heart stopped. I didn't write that. You didn't? She held up the note. This is your handwriting, isn't it? It looks like mine, but I never wrote that. Someone is framing me. Dr. Han's eyes went cold. Security. No. Please. You have to believe me. But Lee Yu-jun doesn't forgive people who hurt what's his. And Maris had just become his. The door opened. But it wasn't security. It was him. Lee Yu-jun walked in like he owned the building. He did. Dr. Han stood immediately. Sir, I didn't call you. I called myself, he said calmly. What's the problem? She explained quickly. The missing supplies. The note. My apparent guilt. He listened without expression. Then he turned to me. Did you take the medication? No, sir. Do you know who did? No, sir. But someone wants it to look like I did. He walked to the desk. Picked up the note. Studied it. Then he looked at Dr. Han. Check the security footage. But sir. Check it. Now. She hesitated, then made a call. Within minutes, a guard arrived with a laptop. They pulled up footage from the storage room. We watched in silence. There I was, doing inventory. Normal work. Then the footage jumped forward. A figure entered, wearing a medical coat, face partially hidden. They went straight to the controlled medication cabinet, opened it with a key, took several boxes, and then, carefully, they took something from their pocket. A sticky note. They pressed it onto one box and placed it in a drawer. The figure turned slightly. Just enough. It was one of the nurses. The same woman who had mocked me in the break room. The room went silent. Dr. Han's face went pale. I think we're done here, Lee Yu-jun said quietly. Dr. Han nodded quickly. Yes, sir. Maris, I apologize. You're free to go. As I walked out, Lee Yu-jun followed. In the hallway, he stopped me. Are you okay? I nodded. Thank you. This is the second time you've saved me. Don't thank me yet, he said. This isn't over. What do you mean? Someone is trying very hard to destroy you. And they're not going to stop. Why? Why would anyone care about me? Because, he said, stepping closer, you matter to me. And my enemies know it. His words hit me like a punch. I barely know you. That doesn't change what I just said. I swallowed hard. Who are you really? He smiled slightly. Someone you should probably stay away from. But you won't, will you? I don't know. Good, he said. Because I'm not letting you go. The person who framed her was just a pawn. The real enemy was still hiding. And they were getting closer. That evening, Lee Yu-jun took me to his office. It was massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul. Everything was sleek. Powerful. He poured 2 glasses of whiskey and handed me one. I don't drink. Tonight you do. I took a sip. It burned. He sat across from me. We need to talk about what's really happening here. I'm listening. My name carries weight in this city, he began. Some of that weight is legal. Most of it isn't. What does that mean? It means I run things that operate outside the law. Protection. Information. Control. People call it organized crime. I call it business. My chest tightened. You're telling me you're a criminal. I'm telling you I'm powerful. And power makes enemies. One enemy in particular. His name is Park Min-suk. He runs a rival organization. We've been at war for years. Territory. Resources. Respect. He wants what I have. And now he wants to hurt me. What does that have to do with me? Everything, he said. You returned my wallet. Word got out. People started talking. The honest girl. The one Lee Yu-jun protected. Min-suk saw an opportunity. If he can destroy you, he proves I'm weak. If he can hurt you, he hurts me. You need to let me go, I said quietly. Fire me. Pretend you don't know me. Then you'll be safe. He leaned forward. His eyes locked on mine. I don't abandon people under my protection. And Maris, whether you accept it or not, you are mine to protect. Those words. Mine. They should have scared me. Instead, they made my heart race. This is insane, I whispered. Yes, but it's real. And I need you to trust me. Why should I? Because I've never lied to you. And I'm not starting now. Silence filled the space between us. Finally, I asked the question I was afraid to hear the answer to. What happens now? Now, he said, I keep you close. And I make sure Min-suk knows that touching you means war. She was falling for the most dangerous man in Seoul. And he was about to show her exactly how dangerous he could be. The next few days were strange. I went to work, did my job, but everything felt different. Lee Yu-jun was always nearby. Not obviously, but I would see him. In hallways, through windows. His presence was constant. Protective. Possessive. The staff noticed. Whispers followed me everywhere. She thinks she's special. He's just using her. It won't last. I tried to ignore them. But at night, alone in the apartment he had given me, I wondered if they were right. Then one evening, everything escalated. I was walking to the subway after work when I felt it. That sensation of being followed. I walked faster. The footsteps behind me matched my pace. My heart started pounding. I turned a corner. The street was empty. Suddenly, hands grabbed me from behind. One covered my mouth. The other wrapped around my waist. I tried to scream, but the sound was muffled. I was dragged backward into an alley. There were 3 of them. Masked. One held me while the others stood watch. The one holding me leaned close. His breath smelled like cigarettes. Tell Lee Yu-jun that Park Min-suk sends his regards. And tell him if he wants you back in one piece, he needs to stay out of it, Iwan. I bit down hard on the hand covering my mouth. He yelled and loosened his grip. I screamed. Loud. As loud as I could. They panicked. One of them raised his hand to hit me. But before he could, a voice cut through the alley. Let her go. Lee Yu-jun stood at the entrance. He wasn't alone. for men flanked him, all dressed in black, all dangerous. The men holding me hesitated. Then they ran. Yujun's men didn't chase them. They didn't need to. He walked toward me slowly. Are you hurt? I shook my head. My whole body was trembling. He pulled me against his chest. His arms wrapped around me tight. You're safe now. I'm here. I don't know how long we stood there. But when he finally pulled back, his eyes were dark with fury. This ends now, he said quietly. In that moment, Lee Yujun made a decision. Anyone who had ever hurt Maris would pay, starting with his rivals. That night, he didn't take me back to the apartment. He took me to his home. It was a penthouse. Sleek, modern, beautiful. Sit, he ordered gently. I sat on the couch while he poured water, handed it to me, watched me drink. Then he sat beside me. Too close. Not close enough. Tell me what happened. I told him everything. The hands, the message, the threat. His jaw tightened with every word. Minsuk is escalating, he said. He's testing me. Testing what? How far I'll go to protect you. And how far will you go? He looked at me. All the way. The intensity in his voice made my breath catch. I don't understand why you care this much. You don't have to understand. I don't even know you, I whispered. Yes, you do, he said. You know I'm dangerous. You know I'm possessive. You know I don't let go of things that matter to me. And Maris, you matter. Why? Because you're honest in a world full of liars. Because you're brave when you should be scared. Because when I look at you, I see something I thought I'd lost. What? Hope. The word hung between us. I should have pulled away. Should have created distance. But I didn't. Instead, I asked the question I was terrified to know. What are you going to do? I'm going to end this, he said. Minsuk wanted a war. Now he has won. That night, I stayed in his guest room. But I barely slept. I kept thinking about his words. You matter. Mine. Hope. I kept thinking about the way he looked at me. Like I was something precious. Something worth fighting for. The next morning, I told him about my past. We sat in his kitchen. Coffee between us. I don't know why I told him. Maybe because he had been honest with me. Or maybe because I needed him to understand why trust was so hard for me. I told him about the hospital. The false accusation. The way nobody believed me. The way I lost everything in one day because someone needed a scapegoat. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he reached across the table and took my hand. That will never happen again, he said. As long as I'm here, nobody will make you carry blame that isn't yours. How can you promise that? Because I don't break my promises. And Maris, I promise you this. Anyone who tries to hurt you will answer to me. The way he said it. The certainty. It should have scared me. Instead, it made me feel safe for the first time in months. That afternoon, I returned to work. But something had shifted. Lee Yujun was no longer hiding his protection. He walked me into the building. His hand on my lower back. Possessive. Public. The message was clear. She's mine. Touch her and die. If your heart is racing right now, hit that like button. Because what happens next will change everything. The staff stared. Whispered. But nobody said anything to my face. Dr. Han avoided eye contact. The nurses who had mocked me suddenly became polite. Fear does that. It makes people respectful. That evening, as I was preparing to leave, Lee Yujun appeared in the clinic. We need to talk. His face was serious. What happened? Minsuk made his move. He hit 3 of my operations last night. Stole shipments. Hurt my people. And he left a message. What message? That this is just the beginning. Unless I give him what he wants. What does he want? Territory. Power. And you. My blood went cold. Me? He thinks if he takes you, I'll fold. Will you? His eyes burned into mine. Never. But Maris, this is going to get worse before it gets better. Maybe I should leave Seoul, I said quietly. Go back to Tanzania. Remove myself from the situation. He stepped closer. His hand came up to cut my face. You're not going anywhere. This isn't your fault. It is. You're in danger because of me. No, he said firmly. I'm in danger because I chose to protect something that matters. And I don't regret that choice. Even if it costs you? Even then. We stared at each other. The air felt heavy. Charged. Then he did something unexpected. He kissed me. Not gentle. Not asking. Claiming. His hand tangled in my hair. His body pressed against mine. And I kissed him back. Desperately. Like I had been waiting for this without knowing it. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. You're mine, he whispered against my lips. Say it. I'm yours. Good. Because I'm never letting you go. Park Min-suk had been patient. But patience was over. Tonight, he would take what Lee Yoo-jun valued most. The next day started normally. Too normally. I should have known something was wrong. Lee Yoo-jun had been called to an emergency meeting across the city. He didn't want to leave me, but I insisted I would be fine at work. Surrounded by people. Safe. I was wrong. It happened during my lunch break. I went to the parking garage to get something from my locker. The garage was empty. Quiet. My footsteps echoed. I was halfway to the locker when I heard it. The sound of a van door sliding open. I turned. Too late. Hands grabbed me. A cloth pressed over my mouth and nose. Chemical smell. Sweet. Sickening. I tried to fight. Tried to scream. But the world tilted. My vision blurred. And then everything went black. When I woke up, my head felt like it was splitting open. I was in a warehouse. Cold. Dark. My hands were tied behind my back. My ankles bound to a chair. Panic hit me hard. I pulled against the ropes. They didn't budge. A door opened. Light spilled in. A man walked toward me. Older. 50s maybe. Expensive suit. Cold eyes. You're awake. Good. His voice was smooth. Educated. Who are you? I already know who you are, Maris Okon. Tanzanian nurse. The girl who returned a wallet and became Lee Yoo-jun's weakness. You're Park Min-suk. He smiled. Smart girl. What do you want? What I've always wanted. Yoo-jun's empire. And you're going to help me get it. I'm not helping you do anything. He crouched in front of me. You don't have a choice. I've already sent him a message. You for Itaewon territory. He'll refuse. Min-suk's smile widened. Will he? Men like Yoo-jun don't love easily. But when they do, they love obsessively. He'll come for you. And when he does, I'll be ready. You're going to start a war. The war already started, he said. You're just the battleground. She thought honesty would keep her safe. But sometimes honesty puts you right in the line of fire. Hours passed. Maybe. I couldn't tell. The warehouse was windowless. Timeless. My wrists ached from the ropes. My throat was dry. Min-suk's men came and went, but nobody spoke to me. I was bait. Nothing more. Then I heard it. Gunfire. Distant but unmistakable. Shouting. The warehouse erupted into chaos. Min-suk's men grabbed weapons. Took positions. Someone kicked open the door. And Lee Yoo-jun walked in like death itself. He wasn't alone. A dozen men flanked him. Armed. Dangerous. But it was Yoo-jun who commanded the space. His eyes scanned the warehouse until they found me. Relief flashed across his face for half a second. Then fury replaced it. Let her go, he said calmly. His voice carried. Min-suk stepped out from behind a pillar. Holding a gun. Pointed at me. You came. I told you I would. Give me Itaewon. Give me her. No. Min-suk pressed the gun against my temple. I didn't flinch. I kept my eyes on Yoo-jun. He looked at me. Something passed between us. Trust maybe. Or love. Then he spoke. You think I'm here to negotiate? I think you don't want her dead. You're right. Yoo-jun stepped forward. I don't want her dead. But I'm not giving you my territory either. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to lower that gun. You're going to let her go. And then we're going to end this. Or what? Or I burn your entire operation to the ground. Starting with you. The tension snapped. Minsuk moved the gun from my head to point at Yujun. Bad mistake. In one fluid motion, Yujun drew his own weapon. Fired. The shot echoed through the warehouse. Minsuk dropped. The gun clattered across the floor. Chaos erupted. Yujun's men moved fast. Efficient. It was over in minutes. Lee Yujun had built his empire on fear. Now he was about to remind everyone why. Yujun rushed to me. Cut the ropes. Pulled me into his arms. Are you hurt? Did he touch you? I'm okay, I whispered. I'm okay. He pulled back. Checked me over. His hands gentle despite the violence around us. When he was satisfied I was unharmed, he cupped my face. I thought I lost you. You didn't. I told you I'd never let you go. I meant it. I know. His thumb brushed my cheek. And I'm yours. Completely. Dangerously. Obsessively yours. Good, I whispered. Because I'm not going anywhere. Some love stories are written in roses. This one was written in blood and loyalty. The aftermath was swift. Minsuk's organization collapsed. His people scattered. Yujun's control over the city solidified. But more importantly, everything between us changed. He didn't hide anymore. Didn't hold back. I was his. Publicly. Completely. And I had never felt more free. The company stopped whispering. Dr. Han became respectful. The staff learned quickly that I was untouchable. But it wasn't the power that mattered. It was the way he looked at me. The way he touched me like I was something precious. The way he listened when I talked about my dreams of nursing, of helping people, of making a difference. A week after the warehouse, he called me into his office. Sit. I sat. He handed me an envelope. What is this? Open it. Inside was a letter. An official offer. Head of Medical Services for Lee Enterprises. Full authority. Unlimited budget. My eyes widened. This is too much. No, he said. It's what you deserve. You wanted dignity. You wanted to prove yourself. Now you have the chance. But this is because of you. Because of us. It's because of you, he corrected. Your skill. Your compassion. Your strength. I'm just giving you the platform. Tears filled my eyes. Thank you. He pulled me close. You saved me, Maris. The day you returned that wallet, you saved me. From what? From being a man who only knew how to take. You showed me what it means to give. To trust. To love. That night, we stood on his balcony overlooking Seoul. The city glowed beneath us. Beautiful and dangerous. Like him. Like us. Are you scared? He asked quietly. Of you? Never. Of this? Sometimes. Me too, he admitted. Why? Because I've never had something worth losing before. Now I do. He turned me to face him. His hands framed my face. I love you, Maris Anderson. I love you in a way that's probably not healthy. In a way that makes me dangerous. In a way that means I will destroy anyone who tries to hurt you. I love you too, I whispered. Even though you're dangerous. Especially because you're dangerous. His kiss was deep. Claiming. When we broke apart, he rested his forehead against mine. Promise me something. Anything. Promise me you'll never regret choosing honesty that day. I pulled back to look at him. How could I regret it? It led me to you. Exactly. And you led me to something I thought I'd never have. What? A reason to be better. Months passed. I thrived in my new role. Built a medical program that actually cared for employees. Yujun continued running his empire. But he was different now. Less ruthless. More strategic. We were different. Stronger together. One evening, he took me back to the spot where it all began. The sidewalk where I had found his wallet. Why are we here? He asked. To remember. Remember what? That one choice can change everything. He pulled something from his pocket. A small box. My heart stopped. Maris, that day you chose honesty over survival. Today, I'm choosing you over everything. He opened the box. Inside was a ring. Simple. Beautiful. Perfect. I'm asking you to choose me. To choose this life. To choose us. Even though it's complicated. Even though it's dangerous. Even though nothing about us makes sense on paper. Tears streamed down my face. Yes, I whispered. Yes. 1,000 times yes. He slid the ring onto my finger. Kissed me under the lights of Seoul. And in that moment, I understood something important. I had been afraid for so long. Afraid of being blamed. Afraid of being alone. Afraid of not being enough. But standing there with him, I realized I wasn't afraid anymore. Because I had chosen honesty when it would have been easier to steal. And that choice had led me to love. To protection. To home. Some people would say I was crazy. That loving a dangerous man was foolish. That accepting his world was wrong. But they didn't understand. Lee Yoo-jun had given me something nobody else ever had. He had given me trust. He had believed me when nobody else did. He had protected me when I had nobody. And he had loved me not despite my honesty but because of it. That was worth fighting for. Worth risking for. Worth everything. And that's how Maris went from a fired nurse with nothing to the woman who stood beside Korea's most dangerous man. She chose honesty when the world expected her to steal. She chose courage when everyone told her to run. And she chose love when fear told her to walk away. If this story moved you, hit that like button right now. Drop a comment and tell me your favorite moment. Was it when she returned the wallet? When he protected her? Or when she refused to run? And subscribe to African Korean Romance for more stories where dangerous men meet fearless women and love conquers everything. Thank you for being here. From wherever you are in this beautiful world, I'm sending you love. Until the next story, remember sometimes the most dangerous choice is the one that sets you free.